Welcome. Good afternoon. Happy Saturday, everybody. This is Harriet Westmore from the More Self Discovery Podcast. This is a podcast where we discuss a variety of topics that relates to individuals who are going through the journeys of life into their own self discovery. I want to welcome you today. It's a very nice day where I am. I'm hoping you are enjoying the weather, the spring weather, as well as I am. We have a special guest today, and it's a treat for me. She is so talented and just a uh, joy to just talk to. Her name is Rosanna Amadea, and she is a life after divorce life coach, but she's also into the meditation in the spiritual realm. And before we introduce her, I just want everybody to hit the like, and if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and become a subscriber to the More Self Discovery Podcast. And this is a open chat, so if you have any questions or would like to make a comment, the chat is available for you to do so. So, Miss Rosanna, I thank you so much for being a guest on the Self Discovery Podcast, and I just so much appreciate you.
Oh my goodness, Harriet. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored to be here with you on your podcast today on this beautiful sunny day. Finally, after 4 rainy days here, the sun is shining as well. And but I'm excited to be here. We had a full moon last night, so I'm sure everyone is feeling it because it was also like a lunar eclipse. And so our emotions are really up right now, whatever it is. So I'm just excited, um, to be here and with everyone. So, hi, everyone.
Awesome. So before we got on live, you were just explaining to me about the lunar eclipse. So tell us about, what does that mean and how were you? I know you wanted to do a little bit of exercise to burst our energy and keep our energy aligned.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yesterday we had a full moon, but and full moons generally, as we all know, can affect our emotions because, it affects the tides. And of course, we're made of water. But then last night it was like a supersized because it was also an eclipse. And so that just, it just intensifies, that full moon. And so, it's all about endings. So if you're, time to make decisions and so just the energies of the universe help us out in that. And also it's about facing your fears. So if a lot of us tend to hide our fears, and so
Hmm.
it's about really being honest with ourselves and really taking a look at what it is that we're afraid of, and then um just tackle those fears, whatever they are, and so that you can move through it, right, and get to the
Hmm.
other side, because otherwise they just keep us stuck. So
Right.
if you all would mind, just I would like to just do a little bit of like a 1 to 2 minute little mini meditation. So if you could all just kind of stop what you're doing now and close your eyes, that just helps, and I'm going to do the same. And just imagine your feet, you're grounded into your seat if you're wherever you're sitting or if you're lying down. And just imagine your feet on the earth,
Mm.
beautiful Mother Earth. And then imagine that you have these beautiful golden roots growing down into the heart of Mother Earth, going down, 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 deep into the heart of Mother Earth. Good. And then just imagine that there's beautiful heart crystal, and just wrap your roots around her and just give Mother Gaia a big hug. And let's just thank her for being here, because we couldn't be here without her. And thank her for all the beauty in nature, the trees that are flowering, the flowers that are flowering, the birds that are making nests everywhere. And there's just so much growth and new beginning and rebirth now. It's just such a time of celebration. And then breathing up all of that growth and all of that love and nurture Mother Earth has for us. Bring it up your legs. Good, everyone. All the way up. up your torso, all the way up and into your heart. Beautiful. And just imagine your heart is this beautiful flower. Imagine your most favorite flower and just open up that heart space. Good. Very good. You're safe here. Wonderful. We're going to take two more breaths. One more. Breathe in through your nose and imagine just this beautiful, soft, pink light coming up all the way up your body, caressing every cell and into your heart. Really good, everyone. One more time. Breathing up that energy all the way up your legs, up your torso, and stand up, sit up straight if you can in your chair, all the way up into your heart space. Wonderful. And with each breath, just feeling your heart ever so slowly just open up even bigger, even wider. Good. And now imagine we're going to bring our attention up to the sky and the clouds and the universe and love that's all around us all the time. Your angels, your guides, your ancestors that have passed on, all that love. And this time we're going to breathe in and we're going to breathe down into our hearts. So breathe in from the top of your head, bringing in all that love, the sunlight. Without the sun, things wouldn't grow, right? And just bring all that sunlight, that warmth down your head, down your neck, down your shoulders, and down your arms, gently caressing your fingers and then into your heart. Good. And if you'd like to imagine the color, you can imagine the color blue as well, if that's easy for you. So breathing in that beautiful blue ether, all the divine love, all the sunlight into your heart space. Good. And we're going to take one more breath. Inhaling and bringing it in. Good. And then just imagine these two energies just kind of dancing together, melding together. Good. And then the last step I'd like to do is just to imagine now golden heartstrings, and they are connecting myself to Harriet and then to each one of you, creating this beautiful sacred circle space. Each one listening, whether you're listening live or you're going to be listening later, it doesn't matter. And just imagine us all connecting heart to heart and breathe into that. Wonderful, everyone. And whenever you're ready, you can just open your eyes.
Wow. I feel I feel like the weight was just dropped. I feel
Right?
like relaxed.
Yeah,
And
so peaceful, right? It's just like we're grounded and we're here.
mhm. And this is definitely for those of us who are stressed and just need that moment to just kind of take care of ourselves and just let that stress just roll off of you. This is a great that was a great meditation. I appreciate that.
Of course, my pleasure, my pleasure. It helped me too because I was like, I was so excited. I was like,
All right, so Rosanna, tell me about how did you specifically get into the life after divorce type of coaching? Give me the background
Sure,
story of
sure.
that.
So, I mean, there's a lot of history there, but to make it brief, I was in the corporate world and really unhappy doing that. And then I went into like the healing arts and I became a massage therapist and healer and for, 25 plus years and learned, a lot of different modalities, Reiki, I'm a Reiki master, slowly started working with the angels and my intuition really opened up. And then sort of life happened. And my, marriage of 21 years ended. and we had, been working on it, really trying,
Mhm.
and it was just, a really unhappy time. As you're married, it's a union, and then, it's very painful.
Right.
Excruciating, actually, is how I describe it, being ripped apart, and your family's ripped apart. We owned a family business together. So really, life as I knew it was falling apart. And
Mhm.
yeah, there were just really dark times. I didn't really want to be here anymore.
Mhm.
And of course, that wasn't an option because, my mom had committed suicide when I was four and
Mm.
a half. So I knew what that was like growing up without a mom. So of course, I wasn't going to do that to my children.
Mhm.
And I was just, asking and praying for help. And I joined a life coaching program. And going through that program, really saved my life, so much so that I became certified, became a life coach myself. And now I help women, go through all that divorce entails, all the decisions, having to do things alone now, not having like, a partner to, you know, depend on to do things or make major life decisions like, buy a house, purchase a car, like, mow the lawn, like, it can go from big extreme things, planning for your retirement, to small things like, fixing things around the house, having
Mhm.
to learn how to mow the lawn, never having done it before. So it can go from, really big things to simple, mundane, everyday tasks that we still need to do.
Right.
It's about feeling good and loving ourselves, right? Because divorce can really hurt your self esteem, and make you feel like a failure. There's a whole bag of emotions, that goes along with that as well. And then, of course, there's the whole religious factor as well, that it's a sin and all of that. So you really, there's a lot of guilt. There's a lot of, blame, and there's a lot of shame that goes along with that. So, I mean, it's a huge, huge life event. It's very
Mhm.
stressful. Um, and as women, we want to appear strong. And
Right.
so we tend to like not ask for help or hold it in. And, like, we can do this, you have to be strong for your children. And you bottle it all up inside. And, being a body worker as well, it's like our body loves us so much, and it takes on so much stress, and it
Mhm.
carries it all to the point where we just, we get used to it. It's like, oh, well, this is the way it is. So, just grin and bear it. And that's actually not so, because eventually your body will start, that stress will eventually start breaking down your body. And, I believe that that's how disease, and I think it's proven that's
Right.
how disease, manifests and starts. And it starts out small, and then it goes deeper and deeper and deeper into our body, till then it affects our health. And then we have to pay attention,
Right. Right. So, just listening to you and all the steps that you do to work with women who are going through the process of being independent, do you
Yeah.
find that in your years of working with women after divorce that a lot of them were just solely dependent on their spouse, and
Yes.
now it's like you got to start from scratch up, or
Yeah.
is it like um, women since the feminine ages came on that you finding more women are being a little more independent than back in the day? What do
Yeah,
you
I think it's a mixed bag, because it really depends on, the age of the clients. I mean, it's
Mhm.
a generational thing. But I think still emotionally, even if you are more independent, there's still a lot of sort of like taboo that goes with divorce. Even though it's very prevalent in today's
Mhm.
day, it's still, going through it is still not easy. um
Right.
but it's also not even just the tasks, Harriet, but also, it's like rediscovering yourself.
Mhm.
So even if you are, somewhat independent, it still takes a shot to your identity,
Yeah.
when you are, considered married and you think that you're going to be married in this union, forever, and then all of a sudden you're not. It's like, wow, it's a shock. So it's still about rediscovering, because again, as women, we tend to really put our family first, our kids
Mm-hmm.
first, our husbands first, and our jobs first, our careers first, and then, always put ourselves last. And I think even women that are independent, I think there's like this underlying um, pattern, if you will, of women, I think that goes, to generations,
Mm-hmm.
that we feel that, um, we don't value our own love, our own self first.
Right. So, with that being said, what's the first step? Is it to take care of our inner self first before we, you know, reach
Yeah.
out to other, to do what we have to do to be a
So
single?
yeah, the first step is, so I have a program that's called Heal Your Heart After Divorce. And really the first step is about healing our heart, because regardless of the reasons for your divorce, and it could run the gamut. I mean, I've had clients, dealing with betrayal, or just, one day their spouse came home and said, I don't love you anymore, or maybe it's the wife that chose. um Regardless of the situation, of
Mm-hmm.
could be health reasons, it could just be you fell out of love. um it The first step is really healing your heart, because our heart really takes a blow, if you will. That's
Mm-hmm.
why they call it heartbreak, because it literally is. It's like you're taking a union and you're breaking it now into two, and that affects us,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of the situation. So it's really about healing your heart. So yes, I would say learning of how to love yourself, and that's different for every woman, of course.
Right.
But it's about making yourself a priority, and it really starts with each one of us.
Right. What would you say for women who, for whatever, just their personality, they just cannot be alone. So they may have got out of this relationship, going through a divorce, but they're ready to jump into another
Yeah, I
relationship.
would
What would
say don't do that.
right.
Definitely not. Because one of the reasons is, I mean, obviously I understand, it can be lonely, but what ends up happening then is, if you don't heal
Hmm.
whatever let's just say patterns, but they could be beliefs that we have, from childhood, and that allows us to choose the partner that we chose. And
Hmm.
so, you know 9 times out of 10, you will most likely attract a similar um relationship. And
Hmm.
so, and I know that for a fact, because that actually, happened to me. I actually tried to do the opposite in my second marriage, but in the end,
Hmm.
the same thing happened, kind of like the Oedipus complex. It's like you try to avoid something and then it ends up the same anyway. So yeah, it's really important to heal um,
Hmm.
everything, understanding what happened and why it happened, because there is a greater perspective as to why that
Hmm.
divorce happened. And, I get clients to the point where they're like actually grateful, and can see, you were talking about some of the spiritual tools that I have, is, really awakening to everything, in our
Hmm.
lives, and really are, and it's opening up to that, and then all the possibilities come flooding in, and all the realizations and all the understanding, so that you could truly heal
Right.
and then move. Yeah.
Right. So talk to us about the program that you and the name of your program, your coaching
Yeah,
business.
so the name of my program is called Heal Your Heart After Divorce,
Okay.
and it is a 12-week program. I work with women all over the world online via Zoom, and it's typically anywhere between a 60 and 90-minute weekly session, so for 12 weeks. And we go through these weekly processes. There's little like so I call it soul play instead of like homework, exercises basically that you do then, and these are tools that you can incorporate every single day
Mm-hmm.
into your life if you choose to,
Mm-hmm.
that will make those changes, every day, um, into your life. And then sprinkled in there are also like 4 healing sessions that we do remotely, and I do a lot of different modalities. So breath work is one modality. So it's teaching you how to breathe properly
Mm-hmm.
in those moments where you're stressed, because we tend to go into the automatic, right? The fight or flight, which
Right.
of course then we hold our breath. And then when we hold our breath, we can't think straight.
Right. Right.
so, so it perpetuates this vicious cycle. I also do sound healing and sound vibration. Of course, breath work is also, and sound healing are very ancient healing arts. They used to do that in Egyptian times and even beyond that. And sound healing, of course, affects our energy system and our vibration, and it raises our vibration. So anything that's lower vibrating will just sort of fall away. And then there's another healing modality that's called IET is the acronym, but it stands for integrated energy therapy. And that's an energy, just like Reiki, but we work with the angels and archangels,
Hmm.
and Archangel Ariel. So it's really beautiful, very healing. Um, and then I also do this galactic toning um, from the eighth dimension, and that is again very healing to the body, getting rid of what's no longer serves you, and just really upgrades and up levels your energy and your mindset.
Wow. Wow. You offer a lot of different modalities of programming to
Yeah, so those are like that's like the energetics of it,
okay.
and then of course we also have the weekly sessions where we're talking like you and I are
Mm-hmm.
talking, and we would go through, everything with, your spouse, your parents, and it's a really comprehensive program.
And you
Um,
said it's
yeah.
12 weeks total?
It's 12 weeks. That's a level one. And then there's also a level two if folks want to continue, which is another 12 weeks. But, I pretty much at the end of the 12 weeks, you're going to be like completely different. You're going to have a completely different outlook, and you're going to feel whole and healed, and you're going to have clarity and just be grounded. Yeah. I mean, and the support doesn't end in 12 weeks, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
but that's just a really good starting point.
Okay. Do you also do like virtual group settings, or is it one-on-one?
I actually haven't done that yet. I may in the future. I
Okay.
really like to work one on one because I really like to have it be tailored specifically, because
Right.
everybody has different needs and everyone is on a different, let's just say, spiritual path. And
Right.
even if they're not in a spiritual path, this program will work. It just, it really meets you where you are, and then it takes you wherever it is that you need to go. And also I use a lot of my guidance and intuition connecting with my clients' guides
Mm-hmm.
as well. So it's very intuitive, and it's just, I think, it's more private, it's more intimate, you can go deeper,
Mm-hmm.
um, because it's so personalized.
Great. So how can people reach out to you? Do you have a website?
Yeah, so the best way is to well, they can connect with me on Facebook
Okay.
and we can become friends. They can send me a direct message on Messenger, or they can email me. My email is Rosanna, Rosanna,
Mm-hmm.
at the at sign new beginnings with an S, with spelled WITH, Rosanna, again my name.com. It's a long email, so maybe we could put it in the chat
Yeah, I'm
for
putting it in there
everyone.
right now. Oops, let
Yeah,
me see.
wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Harriet. Yeah, and they can just connect with me, and then I'm happy to schedule like like a free consultation, just to see, you know where everyone is, what they're looking for, and yeah, because it's not for everyone. Not everyone is ready, but if you're ready to make, a big transformation in your life, it's, yeah, definitely
Awesome.
encourage
I
you
want to
to
make sure that I
reach
is it
out.
New Beginnings with com, or is it
With Rosanna.com.
with Rosanna? Okay, let
Yep.
me go
With
back.
Rosanna.com. Yeah. Thank you for that.
Let's see. So what's a message would you talk to? I mean, if there's a young lady or older lady or
Yeah.
whoever is out here wanting to listen
Yeah.
and just feeling that they're ready for that next step, what would you
Yeah.
say to them?
Gosh, I would say, you don't have to do this alone. Please reach out. Let's schedule a consultation. I'm happy to talk with you and explain my program even more detailed than I did here on the show. And let's see, if it's a fit for you because, life is meant to be fun and joyful. And, we have this life and we need to really make the best of it and be happy. And, settling for just the status quo is just really not okay. Our divine right and purpose is to be happy, is to be free from the past and free from our fears and free from, anything that's holding us back and free from stress. I mean, gosh, let's get our bodies feeling good again and feeling light and see what happens. The angels are wanting me to share with you, when we carry all of these burdens and we carry all of these feelings of, shame or guilt or, whatever, remorse, resentment, anger, all these feelings that can happen when you get to a divorce, then it's like they bring us down, they weigh us down, and they make us feel heavy and dense and unhappy and then painful.
Mm-hmm.
Can't sleep, just your stomach is upset, you can't eat, and it really affects all areas of life. And then our family and our coworkers, then you're just not a happy camper, right?
Right.
But
Right.
getting rid of all of this just lightens you up and lightens the burden so that you can be free to, be yourself and rediscover, the things you used to love and used to love to do. And that's a great point that you brought out. It doesn't matter if you're thinking about divorce or, are separated now, or, perhaps you've even been divorced for 5 or 10 years, but, you just can't seem to let go,
Mm-hmm.
of the past. That could also be, an area where, you're just kind of stuck living in the past and, a lot of blame and, playing the past over and over again in your mind, wishing things
Yep.
could be different, and going into all those what ifs that we tend to do, and all of that, again, keeps us from moving forward and being the best selves that we can be and have the best life possible for us because we were created here to be happy and to shine our light, for lack of a
Absolutely.
better word.
Absolutely. Well, you know what? Just hearing you talk, I'm gonna do a little bit of self-disclosure.
Okay.
Um, I know what it's like. I have never been divorced, but I've been separated, and we were separated. We're now, reconciled. But
Wonderful. Absolutely. And I celebrate that.
oh, thank you. But it was a dark time.
Yes.
We were separated for not months, but like say, like I think about 4 years. Actually, legally separated.
Yeah.
And you're right. You go through all these, dark time of feeling guilty. You feel like you fail because I did. I went into a
Depression.
depression.
Absolutely.
Um, I feel like I felt my kids, even though my kids were, they were young adults, but still, I mean, I just felt that
At
I've
any age, divorce is divorce, and your
right.
children are still your children, no matter how old they are.
Right. And so I wish I would have, met someone like you at that time.
Oh,
Um, because I just felt like I was just such a failure. And
yeah.
I just carried that burden and that stress on me. And, meditation and just being able to connect with someone who understands and know how to help you get through that process, it makes a world of difference.
Yeah.
And like I said, had I, known you several years ago, we reconciled, but still, I probably would have been in a better place,
Yeah. You
emotionally.
yeah, you would have healed a lot faster. I mean, and therapy is great. If
Mm-hmm.
you're, even if you're doing therapy, this is very different because
Mm-hmm.
we work with your energy field, we work with your emotions in a way, because we do more than just talking. We're actually transforming your energy. We're actually transforming energetically those energetic patterns that were created, perhaps when you were a child, or
Mm-hmm.
it's very different. So it's something that you can do with counseling and with therapy, and you don't have to do it alone, because depression is hard. There's so many women on medication,
Yep.
and we're a society that's medicated, and
Exactly.
that's okay if it's needed, but there are so many other ways, holistic ways,
Mm-hmm.
energetic ways, that you can hopefully get to a place where you don't have to self-medicate in order to live your life, and to thrive and live a happy life, and to have a new beginning. So my business is called New Beginnings with Rosanna, because it's just about that. It's about experiencing, the death of divorce, because it is a death and a loss,
It
and then
is.
finding the rebirth. And I'm so happy that you and your husband reconciled. So that's tremendous. And, and that's wonderful for you guys. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen, to
Right.
everyone, and that's
Right.
always the goal, if you
Right.
can reconcile and keeping the family and the love together, and you can do that, wonderful. But there are some circumstances, unfortunately, because you have to have two parties, right, that really want it,
Right.
will fight for it.
Right.
And when you have one party that doesn't, then there's nothing you can do
Right. And at that point, it is time
to
to,
walk away.
to
Yeah,
walk away. You owe
yeah,
that to yourself,
yeah. Or
to,
if your partner doesn't want to stay married anymore, like, you can't force somebody
yeah.
to be married,
Right.
so there have to be, so luckily, you and your husband were, the love for each other was strong enough.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
able to
It,
fight,
it
both
was.
equally fight for it. And I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying equal needs is always 50-50. It could
Mm-hmm.
be 80-30. But again, you had that. But unfortunately, you are probably not, you know that's probably not the case all the time.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
you're probably the minority there.
Well, and like I said, it was a hard journey,
Yeah,
and I'm glad that, now, women, there's tools out here, and there's resources that, we can go to for help, such as yourself. It's not, because we have to heal ourselves inside. There's something that's, broken inside of us,
right.
and with my depression and everything, that was a factor, and I had to learn how to heal my inside. I had to love myself, number one.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. And it has to be our love, right?
Right.
Like, it can't be anybody else's.
Right. Right.
And I think that's what happens sometimes. It's like, we look for others, myself included, look for
Mm-hmm.
others, to love us, and I think that that's why sometimes folks jump from one relationship to another and another and another. It's like, because they don't know how to be by themselves, and it's like they have to receive that love from somebody else, and
Right.
it's really not about that. It's about us, like you said, like, you did the work, you learned how to, really love yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and I learned how to really love myself, and it's a process too,
Right.
it's a journey.
Right.
But when you have somebody to show you and to teach you and to walk with you, then you're not like just, pulling at straws and seeing what sticks. You actually have a set plan. You have a set path.
Absolutely.
And it gets you there quicker and sooner, and yeah,
Yeah.
it's easier. It's easier for sure. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. People, just please reach out. Have everybody who's listening on podcast through your podcast platform like Spotify, through audio. I'll make sure I have her information in the show notes. But I encourage anyone, ladies, please don't, you don't have to suffer alone. You don't have to, go through this by yourself. There's support, and you have someone as beautiful as Rosanna that is, willing and open arms. You can just feel her energy. You could just feel that
Yes.
she actually cares about,
Yes.
the work that she does and the people that she helps. So I so much appreciate.
And
I'm
can
sorry.
I
Go ahead.
also add,
Hmm.
Harriet, also if you know someone too that's struggling, like a friend or a family member,
Absolutely.
also please share the information, because yeah, it's so important to get the help that you need before it becomes, you know,
Yeah.
life threatening, let's just say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A matter of fact, I'm want to do a podcast or a group to help heal with narcissism, because there's a lot of relationships, women that are
Yeah.
who are dealing with a
Yeah.
narcissist, and I mean it's
Yes,
just
and those are very difficult
it
relationships to get
is,
out of.
it is
Yeah, because there's a lot of mind games and there's a lot of
exactly,
control. And it is, I mean, you have to have a strong core within you to be able to resist those mind games. And it's very, yeah, it's very toxic.
absolutely, and I would love to collaborate with you on
Yes,
that
I would
piece.
love to.
Okay.
I'd be honored.
Abs-
Yes,
it's much needed. So with that being said, you
thank
guys, thank
you.
you so much for the opportunity to listen for this afternoon. Like I said, if you know somebody
Yeah.
that could very, well are in this position that where they're trying to move on or in the process of moving on and need that extra support, please go to the website Rosanna at newbeginningswithrosanna.com and set up a time. And also, I'll put her Facebook information in the show notes as well.
Thank you, Harriet.
So thank you so much. I really
Thank you, everyone.
enjoyed.
Have a beautiful day. Enjoy the sunshine. You take care.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, bye bye.
Bye-bye.